Hello and welcome to episode 64 of the Youth Intake Challenge. As you can see from the screen, it's been an awful return. We're right near the bottom of the Premier League, so we're 18th position. Let's get into it, unpack it, see what's going wrong and see how we can fix it. Stay tuned. And welcome back. So as we can see, we're 16 games in. We've got 13 points, which isn't terrible, but it's not great either. We can't even really blame it too much on injuries. It's just been a dreadful season, really. Dreadful start. We had the keeper at the start of the season. We lost the first few fixtures, and that's probably the best place to start, is in the schedule. So if I just navigate us up to the top. Lost the opening game to Tottenham, followed that with defeat to Spurs, Man United, and then we got knocked out the cup by Luton as well. It wasn't until the Luton game that we actually got our first goals of the season. Arnaldo, Roldan and Silverio. We got a win against Chelsea, probably one of the more unlikely results, but we did scrape to a 1-0 win there, which was very good. Followed up with a draw against Wolves, 3-3, last minute equaliser from Murat Bektas. So again, things were looking like we turned a corner. We got a 3-2 win over Crystal Palace. Oviehan, Ronaldo, Roldan and Soggy, probably our three best players. All getting on the score sheet there. He's picked up a 3-2 victory for 3 points. Back down to earth with a bump against Liverpool, 2-0, no goals scored. Burnley was a 2-2. Again, we were doing all right in that game. We just get on and get the winner. West Ham was one-way traffic. We got a 2-2 draw with Arsenal. Again, another late equaliser, getting us at a really good point there. Norwich 1-0 away. John O'Carr with a goal, so an unlikely player. Doesn't often play that many games for us, certainly from the kind of start. But he comes on as a sub and he's managed to get us a 1-0 win. 1-1 against Man City, another creditable result. But since then we've been a bit of a losing streak. 2-1 away at Leeds. Again, 2-0 down. We've got a goal back. We were against 10 men, but we just couldn't turn that domination into the goal we needed. West Brom, again, another disappointing one. 89th minute winner for them, so again another point dropped. Nottingham Forest gave us a right good good stiff in. It was completely one-sided. They're right up near the top of the table, so it wasn't unexpected. And then against my beloved Everton, who I needed to do me a favour, we went down to another 1-0 win, 1-0 loss. So a bit terrible. Where to look in terms of positivity from all that is probably in development centre, and that's that we've got a new batch of players coming through. So in terms of ones ready for the first team squad, we've got James Healy. He has made appearances for us in the past. He's quite a well balanced player. He's probably not Premier League quality, if I'm honest, but we might be able to throw him in and get some goals out of him. He's not terrible, but he's also not great, so he's one to look at. The players are out on loan. Nobody really setting the world on fire. However, if I was going to pick one of these players as being the one to watch, definitely Ahmed Sarkodie. He looks like a great little player. Already 23 to 27 million pounds. I think he's away out at Colchester, getting some game time. And if he's not back soon, he'll be back for next season. Might be the successor to Soggy in the middle of the park. The only concern I would have over him is his work rate. Not really going to dig in and get too much in there, but as a playmaker and a creative element, I think he might be the one to really spark us going forward. So that's one to look forward to when he comes back. Other ones that are on loan there, we've got where is he? Robbie Harris away at Blackburn. Again, not the greatest of stats spread, but again, as a little central midfielder ball winner, he could be in there doing us a job if one of the big players leaves. And then I think outside of that, there's not really anyone to get too excited about it. Under 18 wise, again, similar story. No one who's really leaping out as a first teamer. There's no 5 stars actually in the potential players down there. So that's that side of things. In terms of finances, up at 142 million, it still keeps going up, which is fantastic. If you were buying players, that'd be brilliant. We could bring in some reinforcements. What we're going to need to try and do is save up and try and get a deposit on a stadium at some point. I do keep asking them. It's not happened yet, but it's something we'll keep picking up. In terms of the club vision, one of the ones they enforced the last contract renewal was spend the original transfer budget. We're not going to spend that ever, so they're devastated in terms of us doing that, which is difficult to manage. However, we're playing high tempo pressing football, we're making the most of set pieces, and we're playing possession based, so it balances out the other ones. And we'll just have to see what we do. Avoid relegation from the Premier League. disappointed. It's a must for us. The difference in it is 40 odd million just from Soggy alone. He's got a relegation release clause of 42 million, but a club release clause of 83. So we need him to be bought before we go down, if that is the case. In terms of the club info, we did have another affiliate come in. We got Fiorenz in the last episode. This time we've got Pek Zwolle from the Netherlands. Again, another way of getting some foreign youth into the Youth Intake Challenge. So now we've got Netherlands, United States, Portugal. Haven't been able to negotiate China to get into that as well, but again, the next intake is looking like it's going to be pretty fantastic. In terms of loans, nothing else new in there. Scouting's irrelevant. Medical centre, you can see we've got a lot of high-risk players in there. That's because we use kind of the same 11 players for every game. I'm going to need to freshen it up a little bit, bring some more players back in from the other clubs and rotate a little bit more. So that's on me. Competition-wise, FA Cup. We've got an away draw at Man City, so it looks like we might well be out of both cups early. I did say in the last episode that a cup run would be nice, but I think going out to Luton and then drawing Man City is probably going to scupper us a little bit in there. Schedule-wise, we've got Newcastle, who are flying high at the top of the league. Then we've got a run of winnable games. We've got 4 games in there we're really going to need to make an impact on. And by that time, as we get into March, we should have a much better idea. That's when the youth intake comes in, and we'll see what job we've got to do to try and survive at the end of the season, because that is what we're in. It's a survival, not a European push. In terms of dynamics, not surprising, team cohesion's really high. That's because we've got all the players together, and they have been for a long time. We've got the managerial support. It's just the club atmosphere. We're not having a great period. We need to get some results in and start to pick that up. So again, that's one to look at. Maybe when we get into this January transfer window or beyond, we might see Soggy move on, which might impact the atmosphere in a positive way, but we'll have to see. Staff's all hunky-dory. Squad-wise, if we just dip into some of the players, so last 5 games, who actually plays is Soggy. I mean, he's injured at the minute, but there you go. That's his stats. He's pretty good. He's got an 8.8 in the World Cup America. He actually plays better in international football than he is for us at the minute. I don't know if I'm not getting the best out of him. I might need to swap him to be in the deep line playmaker and stop using him as an attacking midfielder, just to see if we can get a bit more influence on the game. But in terms of his development, he's still moving forward, so he's still getting better. We just need to kind of squeeze the best out of him in the current squad to get the results we need. Outside of that, who's most appearances? Again, there's a few in there. Soggy, Jovier, and as I said, that's why a lot of players are at an injury risk. In terms of top goal scorer, we've got Arnaud Roldan, currently out injured. Again, 42 to 52 million. We need him back sharpish. He's scored 5 of our Premier League goals, and without him in the team, we're having to rely on Dunk. Again, his development progress is going up more and more game time. In terms of his attributes, again, all time he's had a major. So again, he's one of them players that's come in. His stats have bombed up in all aspects. His highest one being a 6. So yeah, he's good. He can get better, but we need him back. We need him scoring. He's got a dribbling, finishing, first touches, which is great. His acceleration and pace isn't the greatest in the world, but he likes to lob and he likes to play shots, so he is good. And only at 22, he's a player that could keep us going for a few more seasons yet, while we get some more youth intake through. Last one I really wanted to look at while we were looking into players, if I can find him, is Oviejon. Again, he's having a fantastic season. He's up to 3.5 stars. Ball winning. He was playing deep line playmaker role. Again, I might need to rotate them 3 midfielders around a little bit. Maybe bring one further forward to try and get us a bit more of a goal threat going forward, whilst still trying to maintain some kind of balance at the back. But his development is what I wanted to look at, because in terms of his progress, he's rocketing up at the minute from playing lots of games. But in terms of his all-time stats, he's got the highest one, so his strength has gone up 8. You can't see it, it's just beyond my head, but his strength's gone up 8. So his rise has been a bit more significant than some of the others. Lots of 4s and 5s in there, so it just shows that the big change he's had coming forward. And again, he's only 21 years old, Nigerian international. He's got a lot to come for. Looks for passes, knocks ball past opponent, but he dwells on the ball. So again, with them 3 midfielder players looking well in there, that's what we're going to do. In terms of tactics, we've been with this for a while. I've been playing around with who's a ball winner, who's a central midfielder attack. I think I'm going to need to drop Sog slightly deeper and make him a playmaker, and then push someone else further forward. Maybe play with a flat three. Maybe convert one of the wings into an inside forward, just to try and be a bit more of a goal threat. But I'll have a play with that over the next few days. Brewstad's coming in at right back. He's been playing really well. Coleman's kind of faded out a little bit as Brewstad's played a higher average rating. But again, the squad's fairly settled. We've not got anyone really pressing for that kind of first team usurp. Squad plan is all the same, but the only other thing to look at really is in the development centre, the candidate preview. 3 A's in there, which is looking promising. At least one of the fullbacks looks like it's got plenty of promise. So there's 1 left back and 2 right backs coming through. So what we could really do with the left back coming through in that intake. A couple wingers, not something I would say we're particularly in desperate need of, but a striker is on the cards. There's only one. He looks like a fine prospect. I know to take all this with a pinch of salt. We'll see when it comes through. Another couple centre halves in there and 3 centre midfielders. So if Sog does move, there is some reinforcements coming. So not looking bad. It's not the best in terms of position, as we've talked about, but we have got lots of youth players coming through. Got a good little run of fixtures coming up. Let's get to the intake, because the intake's going to be the most exciting part. We've got state-of-the-art facilities. We've got some affiliate clubs. We've got a good batch coming through on paper as it looks so far. So what I'll do is I'll get through to that next intake, and in the next episode we'll unpick what will hopefully be the best intake we've had in the entire save. Till next time, stay tuned, take care, see you soon.